I'm off to another park today. I'm actually doing a lot of different stuff today. Went and got my license renewed and stopping at this park because it was on the way back. Been here a couple times. It's a smaller one. There's one main trail I'm going to take and then a different one, so we'll have some clips from that. I'm also going to the Guardians game. They play the Reds, so I'll be going to the Great American Ballpark later today. Got some pretty nice seats, basically the same as the Brewers game that I went to, but on the third base side, so hopefully I didn't put myself directly into the sun. We'll see. A bunch of turtles just hanging out. See if I can zoom in. Boom. Zoom turtles. So I haven't come to this side of the park. I forgot this was a trail, but I guess there's some flowers and a gazebo. I don't know how long this path is. We'll see. Turns out it's pretty short, although it looks like there's another loop here. That's like the parking lot. So I don't know if this is a path or just service drive, it says. Guess we'll see. Might be nothing. I don't know. We'll see. Welcome to the workout portion of this vlog. So today's Monday, but it's actually kind of the Sunday off day. And I went back and forth whether I wanted to go out and squat or anything, but I know tomorrow I want to do snatch and clean and jerk. So today I'm going to do accessory work. And so this is a chair set up on these plates. Hopefully shouldn't fall. I mean, there's plenty of space on it. I'm actually going to fix this plate a little bit. But the idea with having it elevated here is so I can do leg extensions, and I have this ankle weight. So we'll do, theoretically, enough to get some hypertrophy. And the reason why I like to do these, or why I wanted to start doing them, is that it can help with the quad tendon, and it's usually not that strenuous because the weight's not that heavy for the quad muscle. But it's enough to where I'm not just swinging my leg in the air with no resistance. So just need a little bit, but turn my hips over a little bit, and it's not that difficult, but it's just enough to work that area that the quad tendon that's irritated or can be irritated, and get some blood in that area. Allows me to work without obviously aggravating anything. I don't know how many reps that is, but I have a pretty good, this is where it's like I definitely could be a good bodybuilder, because like I feel like I have a pretty good mind muscle connection to where I can really like flex hard individual muscles, especially when I'm isolating like this, especially my quad and calves. I'm sure there's some muscles that I can't, but like even there, like my chest twitch, like there's some muscles that I can do a really good job with. I'm going to try just not counting and going until I have a bit of a quad pump. And we're going to get a little bit stricter with the form. When you're swinging, you kind of lose some of the, I guess, tension. It makes it a little bit easier. But strangely, all the lifts I did yesterday, I don't think those made me sore. But on the walk, I had a really steep incline for a bit, and that made my glutes really sore. So another reason why, especially it's like today's kind of like the day 7 of like the week, which is what this Mondays end up being, is a day where I shouldn't really train very hard, but I can still get some productive work done. So I don't know how many reps that is. I'm not really getting a quad pump, unfortunately. Try to adjust my leg a little bit, but oh, there we go. Once I stop for a second, I can start to feel the pump a little bit. But the goal is not to make myself sore or to do anything, but just to get a lot of work in. I guess some hip flexor work in as well. I'm going to say that was 50, and then do 50 with the other leg. But almost wish I would have just bought 2 of them, but it's not the end of the world. I can always do it, get another one later, but I'm not usually throwing these on and doing a bunch of different workouts with them. but they go on pretty easy. So we'll do 50 with the good leg. Although it's mostly good, like the knee joint on the left knee's always been good with the hip. I've injured it once a while ago, but usually if I have IT band issues, it's always on the left side. But it's hard to count and talk at the same time. We'll do some upper body band work as well, but done this a couple times at this point with the leg extensions, but also with kind of leg raises and glute raises and stuff like that. So we'll do some of those as well, do a couple sets. But because I'm going to the baseball game, I was like, oh, I want to make this a cool video, but not every day is going to be like a crazy hard session. I'm not going to be snatching, clean, jerking every day if I want to lift heavy and productively on a specific day. But it's about 30. But yeah, if you try to like lift your knee up, obviously your hip flexor is going to get some work. So it just depends what kind of feeling you want. I think it's about 40. Yeah, definitely feels like I did about 50 with the other leg. So go ahead and do one more set with both legs. This one we'll do it a bit slower. That's kind of how I treat bodybuilding sets most of the time, whether it's this or other ones, is the first couple, obviously you're warming up a little bit, so you're increasing the weight if you're like on a machine. But I'll just do like kind of just lazy reps in a sense, like cheat reps, or just do a bunch to kind of pre-fatigue, and then like you get more strict and then get less strict. So you kind of just change the intensity that way. Obviously you can change the weight, but like I can be more strict or less strict with my technique and increase the difficulty and the tension. So let my leg fully relax so my hip flexor isn't the fatiguing, the limiting factor. I could elevate this even higher because my leg's just kind of sitting down. I honestly need something that's longer, but this is what I have, so that's what I'm going to use. It's partially the crackling is my knee, and the other is the ankle weight. Actually sounds like it's more of my knee. I'm sure that, I think a lot of the crackling is probably just similar to what I had before, just frayed cartilage. I also haven't been counting that much as well. But it doesn't, my actual underneath my kneecap doesn't hurt. And when I had that issue in college, when I needed my knee scoped, it was like underneath my kneecap, I'd get shooting pain. So even though I have quad tendonitis on that side, it could be related, but I don't think it's a lot of the, not loose bodies, but just kind of cartilage in there that's doing it. Maybe, but I very distinctly remember the pain that I went through. It was very much directly under my kneecap, and it was like a stabbing sensation. And it was like a Russian roulette. It was very random, so I would jump or run or sprint, any sort of explosive movement, 9 out of 10 times would be fine, and then it would just 10 out of 10 pain, and then as it got worse, the frequency, so it would become 8 or 2 out of 10 times or 3 out of 10 times, and it was impossible to fully exert myself if I was pitching, which would happen with it sometimes, or with we'll do a isometrical pitching with it sometimes, and any sort of jumping or sprinting, any sort of explosive partial squat movement. And it was frustrating because after it would go from, it would literally be like you got stabbed and then instantly all the pain was gone. So it was so painful and it went away so quickly, and it didn't really get swelling or any lingering effects. It just was gunshot after gunshot. But very annoying, obviously, to deal with something like that. But thankfully that was in college, so I know what the pain is. Thankfully, I haven't had it since then. And honestly, I think the main thing that did it to my knee back then was nothing to do with lifting or anything, or baseball itself, because baseball is not that difficult of a sport physically. to like, tear your knee up typically. There are guys who do that, but it's pretty rare. I think honestly the biggest thing was the fat baseball coach that we had, who probably never ran a mile in his life, would make us run miles and miles, poles, so pole to pole on a baseball field, and that back and forth would be one, and we have to do that like 15 times. And even if you cut off a couple of the poles, because it's not like he was paying attention, he wasn't a very good coach, very fat guy. But he would make us do that frequently, and for me, I'm not built for long distance running. Even then I was above 200 pounds, basically pretty soon into college I was. And right before I got knee scoped, that's when I hit 215 for the first time. But like even when I was a freshman, like I got up to, before I started college, I was I think above 190. Because I finished high school about 170, 175. And I was able to pretty continually put on weight. It was very difficult, but I was able to continually do it throughout college. And when I graduated college, I cut down to do a powerlifting meet. It was like an online powerlifting meet thing. So I cut down to 180 pounds. So I think that was a really aggressive cut. And so that would have been 2016. And I believe the first powerlifting meet, if you scroll way back on my page, you'll see I weighed 179 or 180. I think I was just under 180. And I was decently strong for that weight, but that was the first, and well, I guess I weighed 180 twice for that, but pretty rapidly got up. So when I started teaching, 2016 was my first year. Like day one of teaching, I remember being like 185 pounds. But that was like I actually really soon after doing that online powerlifting meet thing. But I pretty rapidly got back up to 190. So I've gone from 185 to essentially 235 in my course of teaching, which for most people they would be thinking that they got fat, but thankfully for me, I only got a little bit fat. But it was a bit of a facade 185 because I was truly above 190 most of the time. I feel like I hit 200 for a bit. I definitely was 180 for that competition because that was the weight class at that time. But it was certainly weird to be that weight. We're going to do a tactical reset of the camera. We're at 11 minutes, but we're still chilling. Man, I was going to have a frozen pizza, but I don't need more frozen pizzas. So I just started the oven for nothing. But probably move this chair out of the way a little bit. So we got the ankle weight on, so I'm walking around to the kitchen and stuff. Move these over a little bit. But we're going to do some of the hip/glute stuff as well. And they're pretty common movements. It was a barking spider, it definitely wasn't me. They're pretty common movements to do. So the first one is just to go directly out to the side. And that one always feels really nice to do. And I'm trying not to be crazy with the lean. I'm not trying to, it's kind of with like any of these body movements I do. I don't try to be like super strict like a Catholic school teacher, but I'm trying to be relatively strict so I can work the correct muscles. So I think some movement is always fine, but obviously if I'm like leaning over and using my whole body to kick my leg up, kind of defeats the purpose. And then with this, I can kind of go straight back, but I've been kind of going out to the side a little bit. And that's been feeling like I've targeted my glute a little bit more. So almost at like a 45-degree angle. I'm going to do all the sets on my left side and then go to my right. And I think for me, I don't think my glutes are weak. I think sometimes they don't activate. I remember having hip pain on both sides, and it was a time where I just stopped deadlifting for a while because I was doing weightlifting. And I was like, I don't need to deadlift, kind of how I am now. I'm strong enough to deadlift, but I stopped for long enough that I actually think my glutes stopped firing because they didn't have any reason to, because I was not squatting the weights that would strain them the same way a deadlift would. And I remember having just hip pain. I was trying box squats and all these different things. It was like both my IT bands were just hurting. And I remember doing a squat, and I got up and was like, I'm just gonna squeeze my glutes really hard. I did it, and instantly my hips felt good. And I realized, like, I just literally was just not, I was extending my hips, but I wasn't flexing my glutes at all. And that was, I remember being very annoyed. But I think it's always good when you figure out stuff like that, when they occasionally happen, but it's always annoying. You're like, that's so obvious, even at that point of my lifting career, although I had been lifting for quite a while at that point. Let's do 2 sets of all the exercises. I don't know what I'm kicking. Oh, the light's back there. The legs are too long. And so the goal, like I said today, is to get some lighter movements in, get my body feeling good for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a snatch and clean and jerk day, so kind of what the Monday session normally was. I just kind of pushed everything back a day. So then I can do a heavy day on Sunday, especially for at least the last couple of weeks, of course. Then once the competition happens, then go back to the normal rotation of days. Trying to tip the chair over. Another reason to kind of counter lean is so you can stay balanced. The chair can stay balanced. Alright. So one more set with both directions. So definitely targets my glutes. That's one thing that's nice with sore muscles is if you're ever wondering if you're activating that muscle or not, and that muscle's sore with a movement like that, I can obviously tell my glutes are firing. They're sore. I don't have my blue, I had a blue band here that had a little bit higher resistance tied around there. I took it over to my friend's house when I was dog sitting. But I do have this black band here, and it's at the bottom of the squat rack, and it's a pretty light resistance, so it's nothing too crazy. But we're gonna move kind of as close. I really got a good glute pump from that. That's funny. But just try to be strict with the external rotation. Obviously, that's one way. If you have a lighter resistance, to make it a little bit more difficult, is to control it just a little bit more. And I always like to start with the right side, even though my left side is weaker, so I can try to mimic the same motion. The left shoulder actually feels really good right now. So we'll do 3 sets of 10. And trying not to extend my back, trying to just use my shoulder to rotate my arm as much as I can. Good. One more of both sides. And then we'll do some of these kind of reverse flies. I guess it's kind of a rear delt fly. I'm really just trying to feel my scap. So when I play baseball, you would see pitchers on on the team that would just use their right arm for all these band exercises and never use their left arm. So idiotic. And you have the fat pitching coach I told you about, would never correct people. That's how you know he is a buffoon. And it's funny too, I remember when I broke my arm in 5th grade, and my dad saying, you know, even if you're using your opposite arm, muscles on your right side activate. I remember seeing that in other places as well. So like, even if I do this, it's not as if this half of my body is completely numb and dead. So one of the best things you can do if you have an injury on one side is to obviously use the other side, because it's like, you're still going to be using some of those muscles, obviously a lot less, but it's still going to activate. And there's probably some psychological tricks you can use to flex harder on those muscles, like the mirrors and stuff. People use that when they have ghost pain on one side and they have a missing hand. But even if that's like in an injury case, if you're just a normal healthy person, why wouldn't you not use your other side? It's like the same idea. It's like pitching. It's like if I just didn't use my front leg, I'd throw 40 miles an hour. And it's the little things that add up to getting better at anything. And also like the logic of that. When he's like, yes, run like the equivalent of several miles, but who cares if you use your left side of your body when you're doing these band exercises? And you see how long it's taking. It's not taking me much time to do it. That's the funny thing too. You're talking about like another total like minute and a half of work to have better symmetry. Which probably, honestly, I've talked about this before, probably one of the reasons I haven't had an exploding shoulder or elbow is because I literally, since I knew what band work was for the shoulders, have done it throughout high school, throughout college. Even when I was a powerlifter, I would still have bands and stuff and do that. Because honestly, it feels good on the shoulders, like to get that little bit of a pump. It's not difficult to do, and it probably has some nice benefits of, you know, helping to stabilize the joint. And probably helping me recover. Granted, you know, I don't have a good left shoulder because I injured it, but like, I could have easily just, you know, dislocated it or something. We'll do a couple of light tricep sets. And actually, we're gonna do it like this. So let it pull over, which there isn't a ton of resistance pulling over, but we'll just do one set of 30. Trying to reach behind my head and trying to keep my chest forward so it's kind of a stretch as well. Four. And that's about 30. Do the same thing. A little bit harder for me on the left side, but that's why I like to do it. Kind of stretches your oblique and everything a little bit too, but that's going to be it for my session today. You also see the air conditioning is coming on, so I'll try to talk a little bit louder. But the park, I stopped there after the DMV. I think I talked about that a little bit there, but the rest of the clips that you'll see today will be from the game that I got tonight, so the Guardians don't suck. But yeah, time to go enjoy some baseball. Not good. We are exploring the stadium now that we are in a rain delay. There's the Ohio River in Kentucky. Nice and high, close to the Lightning and Paycor Stadium where the Bungles play. the game got rained out, so I stopped by Waltuck and got some cheap steak and a watermelon. So I'm gonna enjoy that and then try to go to the game again tomorrow. So this will be a 2-day vlog because of the rain, but should be a nice day tomorrow, at least I'm hoping. Attempt number 2.
Condition that arises. Sheltering could be moving out of the seating level and into the concourse, such as during the thunderstorm.
Really nice stadium.
Sheltering might require guests
Nice and cloudy, but better clouds than yesterday. Now we just went to the other side. Still got 30 minutes. Yes,
Let's go, Manzardo.
Now we want all.
it's okay. All right. I don't think that hit him at all.
Yeah, the ball changed direction.
Not enough to overturn it. Oh.
Come on, Manzardo. Oh, that's good!
So this is going to be my biggest video by far as the number of days. So this is 3 different days, Monday, Tuesday. I ended up not lifting on Tuesday. When I got back, I was sunburnt and tired, and I just knew like there was a low chance of me lifting well. So today I'm going to combine snatch and clean and jerk in the session today, probably some pulls. Tomorrow I'll probably do snatch and clean jerk again. Friday will be that super light day. And then I actually realized I'm lifting on Saturday, not Sunday, which isn't a big deal at this point. We're still a couple weeks out. But I lift at 1 p.m., which is nice. I thought I lifted earlier and on Sunday. So I actually lift later, a day earlier. So glad I figured that out now, but I will try to keep a heavy session probably Saturday, but if it's on Sunday this week, then it's fine before I can, calibrate for next week. But seeing my face is kind of pink, I think it might be made worse by that. Thankfully, I had a hat on, but my arms got sunburnt pretty bad because instead of a night game, I was there in the middle of the day. But hopefully we have a nice little session today. We'd like to get up to between 110 and 115 in the snatch, 135 to 145 in the clean and jerk, and then front squat, whatever I can, and then probably do some clean pulls, but we'll see how those all feel. So let's go ahead and get to it. That was probably one of the best snatch sessions I've had, probably my life, which is how dialed in the technique felt. I had the good mental commitment, the timing before the lift, the countdown, any of that. I didn't have that hesitation. But I can kind of tell as soon as I was doing the tall snatches that my body felt pretty good. It's really only the very first one, because I hadn't done overhead squat or anything. That's where you're a little bit sore. But after that, I was I actually feel pretty loose. It's also really neat with today is I haven't taken any ibuprofen. I haven't done ibuprofen since Sunday. I took some for that session, but didn't take any anti-inflammatories, and everything felt really good. Felt the quad didn't vary, probably 2 out of 10 on the 90, but it was not even a thought. But all the reps felt really good. I had a really good finish on all the reps. That was when I missed last week, and basically all the misses, I could feel myself not committing to that last little bit, and all the reps today definitely felt like I could go up and do more. Not the plan today. The 115 felt fantastic, and that's what I want to do. That's what I wanted to hit between 110 and 115. Obviously, made everything, which is always a good thing. But took the 50, 70, 90 jump, and I think I just will do that for the warm-ups at the competition. If I have, if there's too much time, or if I warm up too fast, and I can just repeat a weight. But yeah, super happy with how snatches felt. We're gonna do some tall, clean, and jerks with the bar, and then just go probably right to 70. So I probably won't do weighted
tall snatches and cleans, just the bar, and just use it as truly a warm-up, but just to kind of, honestly, to prime my nervous system to just move quickly. But in all the reps, I was feeling it get into my hip in that last little oomph of extension, and it just popped it right into the correct spot every time. And the bar felt light, everything felt good. Nothing is ripping on my hands. I started without thumb tape, threw it on, and then took it off. Thankfully, for as bad as my grip generally is because of how sweaty my hands get, I can go from tape to no tape with hook grip, and it doesn't bother me at all. I usually will actually do that with warm-up sets, throw the tape on and then take it off for the top sets, because it has a tendency to kind of slip, and I'd rather not have any tape on. For snatches, for cleans, it doesn't matter. But we're gonna go ahead and do the clean jerks, and hopefully, I mean, based on how I feel with snatches, should be a pretty routine 145 at least. That's the hope. As I expected, clean jerks also went well. Caught the balance on all the cleans, which I was happy about. Felt confident with the jerk. I'm trying to think of the correct words to describe it. It was almost like snatches today were squats, in the sense that there was nerves going into them, but once I accomplished them, then it was all just downhill momentum. And usually when I squat, then I do pulls last, and there's no sort of like, oh no, I have to do a pull, or I have pulls I'm going to do, or I want to go heavy on pulls. I'm never nervous for them. One, because it doesn't matter, as I pull heavy enough anyway. But I'm never doing a deadlift or a pull, and I'm never really that nervous for it. Even if it's truly maximal, I'm trying to get hyped up, but it's just a different kind of feeling than like a squat. And it felt like when I finished snatches, it was like, all right, like clean jerks are just guaranteed. Like I'm just going to clean and jerk 145, and it's going to feel good. And 145, the clean was really good. Jerk was a little bit out in front, but caught it locked out. I was happy with how it felt, the confidence of the jerk and all of that stuff. And yeah, its speed underneath was good. Like everything felt really good with it. So we do front squats now. I'm going to do up to 170, and if 170 feels good, we'll do 180 potentially. If not, we'll just stick with 170 and then miss 180. We'll see how that goes, and then clean pulls / deadlifts up to 210. But I won't talk between those, but this will probably be the last commentary part. Maybe I'll talk at the end. I guess we'll find out. But this will be a monster video, so if you watched to this point or any part of it, I appreciate it, because it's a couple days of my life, and I usually don't do that with, or haven't been doing it in years past. So it's definitely something new in general, and it's getting me to be more just going out to do stuff. It's as fun as it is to train and talk about training. I think it's also fun to go out and show I can go and, I have the ability to go out and do stuff. And I have interesting stuff around me. But let's go ahead and do some front squats and some pulls. it always cracks me up when I see the speed of the lift versus how it felt. Started to tip forward a little bit. Probably, if I was like 100% hyped up, could do a little bit more, but it's not worth it. 170 moved well enough, and that's all I need to, that's the most I'm going to clean at the competition if everything goes perfect. So as long as I can front squat, it tends for me to be a 1-to-1 correlation, and I think a lot of it's just the way that I'm built. Like triples and stuff have never really correlated to my 1 rep max in the front squat. If I can front squat at or above what my max clean is, I think my best triple when I did the 176 clean was 160 or 170. It was not 176. I don't think I've ever tripled. I mean, maybe I've tripled 180 once. It's very difficult for me to build reps, and it doesn't correlate to my cleans at all. Usually, obviously, I can clean more than what I can, triple or whatever with that. As long as I can move a rep well, then I'm actually pretty confident with it. And I think a lot of that's just because my pull is really good, and I have good mobility. So if I had bad mobility, if I was not able to get as deep in the clean or pull as well, then I think it would be a much more larger correlation, I think, for the average person. But with my pulling being absurd, I'm very confident. Like today, I could have cleaned 160 plus without an issue. But obviously, you see the front squat or whatever, and it doesn't look like I would be able to clean that or much more. Which I don't think I'd be able to clean much more than 170. But want to keep that moving smooth. I'll front squat again. I might front squat again tomorrow, to be honest. I'm not sure. So I'm going to go to the actual gym. But time to do some pulls. Nothing really remarkable with those. Just going to go 120, 50, 70, 90, and 210. Maybe we'll do 230 after, just because pulls are easy. But that's it for this one. If you made it to this point, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Deuces.
Hey!